I'll tell you guys a brief story about my interest in politics and in government. When I was in the second grade, it was during the presidential election with Michael Dukakis and George Bush Sr. And we had a mock election. I went to South Boulevard. This is very close to where we are today, now Flame. And we voted. We had a mock election, and my parents asked me that evening who I voted for. I told them I voted for George Bush. My parents being Democrats, Rep. Bill, y'all want to know why in the heck I voted for George Bush. And I told them that Michael Dukakis was just too short. he didn't seem presidential. I guess that started off. And now we have an appropriations chair who's probably about the same height as Michael Dukakis. I certainly wouldn't be voting for him, I'll tell you that. But right now, I did an interview earlier, and I was asked the question how confident I am that we're going to get things done in this special session. And I'll tell you, I'm hearing from the chair of appropriations that we're going to start the entire budget process all over. You know, an exercise that we don't need to go through, an exercise that I only see it as another way to attempt to derail this session. And you know, I'm not going to say anything here that I wouldn't say directly to the chairman that we haven't talked about over the past few days, but we've already passed the budget that none of us are excited about, but it's a moral budget. It's a budget that funds all of the priorities from both sides. That has a significant amount of cuts. I hear countless times that the government and the Democrats, we just want to tax people and grow government. I'll remind you that moving forward, half of the penny is an over $400 million tax deduction. We're starting off cutting $400 million. The budget deficit is about $1 billion. The governor didn't ask for $1 billion. The governor originally asked for about $640 million. So we're starting off with a cut. So I'll tell you that those representations from my colleagues are just false. We all have taken the responsibility to cut government. I think that we've done a great job, but we just cannot continue to cut our way out of this situation. And this budget, I'll tell you, the last special session, it was a week before the chairman even filed the budget. We went in special session for an entire week and no budget was filed until Walt Leger from New Orleans filed his version of the budget that was vetoed by Governor Edwards. And that kind of brings me to one day. We were there last week. It seems like last week. It's all running together. But Walt attempted to bring that budget bill to the floor so we could vote on it, and it was a big fight. 10 minutes later, we voted to override the governor's veto, which would have done in essence the same thing that Walt was trying to do, bring the same budget that was vetoed into play. But Gaines stopped us from moving forward. I'll tell you, we have an obligation and a responsibility to move this session forward, and we can move it forward in less than 5 days. We can get this wrapped up by Friday, if we're willing to. If we don't waste time by bringing the moral budget that has already been passed, if we don't waste time trying to have these hearings on the Department of Health. And look, if the Department of Health has more dollars and we can cut some programs and not impact the health and welfare of the people of Louisiana, let's do it. But I also know that joint budget could review those things every month for the next year. If there are real questions, if there are real concerns, you can address those in joint budget. And you don't have to hold the state hostage to play another game.